Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another episode of COVID-19. What am I going to call this? America under food bank. America under food bank. So, one of the things I did today's Friday, by the way. Um, well, it just turned Monday. So today is Friday. Actually, let me confirm that here. Today is May 1st, 2020. This was at 10:01 p.m., updated 10:01 p.m. on COVID.bio, COVID.bio. As of recording is 12:01 a.m. May the 2nd. So a little late tonight, but just had a lot of things to do. One of the things I did today was I went to the food bank. As you know, I already go to the high school around here to pick up the lunch or breakfast and lunch for the kids. In the morning, I'll take the car. In the afternoon, if it's sunny, I'll take my electric bike and I'll throw in some B-roll of that. So I take my electric bike. Sometimes I'll take my youngest with me, depends. It's a essential travel, also good exercise, and it gets me out of the house, and boy, do I need it. Uh, Riding in the cool air, springtime in Houston right about now. It's sunny, it's cool, not very humid, and the sky is so blue, the air is so clean. It's amazing. So the high school is providing breakfast and lunch for the kids. Then they told me like this Friday, it's a one-time thing, but this Friday there's the food bank. The food bank will offer food, groceries. So I took that opportunity. So in the morning, I picked up, I drove there, I picked up breakfast. While I was there, uh, a line was already starting. There was like 2 to 3 cars already waiting to get into. There was 2 or 3 cars waiting to get into the line. All right, so um, I realized right away I should probably go early in the morning, and so I drove home quickly, disinfected the breakfast, um, disinfected the breakfast. Kids started eating. I left right away. Came back home and left again to go get in line to the food bank. So by the time I went there, it was 8 o'clock. I think I got there 8 o'clock because 7:30 is the time to pick up breakfast for the kids. So 8 o'clock, I get there. Now when I left, it was around 7:30. There was already 3 cars waiting to get into line in the food bank, and car line. When I got there again, when I came back 8 o'clock, now the food bank starts at 9 a.m. So when I got there, it was 8 o'clock. I'll probably have a video of it in my drive along videos. So whenever that comes out, that'll probably come out later. It's in the pipeline. But uh, there was already like, I think I would say about 50 cars, 40 to 50 cars. And by the time I the food bank started at 9 o'clock, there was probably over 100 cars. It didn't go snaking around the corner everything, but if you see the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it was in the parking lot of the high school, so it didn't snake around all the way around the corner. But it was over 100 cars, and so that was quite an experience. So that was my day today. And then after that, I picked up lunch again. I just drove there. I didn't ride my bike. I drove there. I figured, it's just a busy day. Just drive back and forth. And gas was $1.49. I also went to go get gas because I was doing a lot of driving. Gas is $1.49. So yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is the whole meat shortage. I think I talked about it last week. and would tell you about it the next week. Well, today's the next week. Monday, today's Friday, but Monday I decided to go grocery shopping because we're getting low on our food supply. And my wife went and she picked up a lot of meat, different meat, whatever. She said there was no shortage. That was Monday. Um, so the only thing there was a shortage of was butter, is what she reported to me. Now, I did read an article about HEB because that's where I do my pandemic shopping, right? My pandemic grocery shopping at HEB. And it turns out they're going to they lifted the limits on meat and milk and all this stuff. Now they put limits back on, and you can't get two of each. You can only get two items of any kind of meat. So if you can't get two, ground beef and two chicken and two pork, it's just two items of any ground beef. So they're already limiting that because I think they're anticipating another panic buying of probably meat products. So HEB is already doing that, and probably in the future you'll probably see other stores most likely do that as well. Now I haven't gone back to the grocery store. I'm still got my beef jerky that I made from ground beef, so I'm okay. My wife recently went shopping. Plus, I went to the food bank line, so we should be okay. I'm hoping in the next few weeks that this meat shortage will recover. I'm hoping. So just want to report that to you on that. Another issue is it is a hot spot here where I am. Let me show you what I'm talking about, and I'll get to those. I'll get to the numbers eventually. So I'm in Missouri City, and zip code 77459. This is Fort Bend County Coronavirus Response website. Links, all the links are in the notes if you're interested. Anyways, I'm right here. This is the highlighted area. I am in the unincorporated part of this zip code of Missouri City, so that's why we have the Fort Bend sheriffs patrolling this area. This community pays Fort Bend County Sheriff's Department to patrol this area, and so um, I'm kind of hitting a double whammy. In the county of Fort Bend, the zip code 77459, which that's what I'm in. It has the most confirmed cases. Plus, in the unincorporated parts of Fort Bend County is also half of the confirmed cases. So 500 of the confirmed cases are also in the unconfirmed or unincorporated parts of Fort Bend County, which I am in also. So I'm getting hit double whammy. I'm in the zip code with the most confirmed cases, and I'm also in an unincorporated part of Missouri City, which represents not Missouri City, the unincorporated part of Missouri City, but all of the unincorporated part of Fort Bend County represents half of the confirmed cases. So I should be very, very careful when I go out there. So they're also setting up test sites around here in Missouri City, up in the northern part, actually, like up here in the northern part. So I think that's where maybe that's where most of the confirmed cases are coming from, because it also borders along, Harris County. But in any case, um, I'm kind of in a pickle right now. Um, Not as bad as Harris County, as you can see right here. Harris County, yeah, Harris County is going up, and here's Fort Bend, but I'm still in top 6 of the counties. Anyways, let's get back to this site here. So, anyways, I'll get to the numbers eventually. So I just wanted to share that with you, my day, some of the things that I've done, and what it's like to be in a food bank line and everything. It was interesting, a lot of waiting. If you're going to go to a food bank line, get there early as possible. So getting to the food bank line as early as possible, I guess, helps. One of the other things that I had to do was I had to go and provide information or do a survey. Originally, they told me to text a number with this code, and I would get a link to a website to fill out the survey, which I did. And then after filling out the survey, I pushed submit right on my touchscreen on my smartphone. I pushed submit, and it just took me to a 505 error. Web server, I don't know, was busy or didn't exist. And it apparently wasn't just me, it was a few other people. And so they had to fill out by paper surveys. They asked for my name, address, phone number, household income, number of people in the household, number of children. So and I said fine. I guess if they want that information, I don't mind. After all, I am getting food at supposedly no charge. I didn't pay for it. I think what did I get? I got some cheese, mozzarella cheese, a lot of mozzarella cheese, a lot of carrots, cheese, a lot of carrots. Um, Zucchini or cucumber, I'm not sure. I get confused. And then I did get bread. We got we got bread. We got bagels. We got hamburger buns. We got a lot of fish sticks, nuggets. Um, what else? We got some frozen strawberries. Um, I'm trying to think what else did we get. Oh yeah, we did get toilet paper, like 4 rolls of toilet paper, and then also four rolls of toilet paper, shampoo and conditioner, toothbrush, some toothpaste, deodorant for a man and a woman. So they did give us that cantaloupe. I think they're cantaloupe. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh well, it's in the drive along video. You'll eventually get to see it. But anyways, let's get back to the let's get to the numbers now. Okay, so I had to wait for this website. Updated May 1st, 2020 at 10:01 p.m. Right now, as of this recording, it is 12:14 a.m. May 2nd, 2020. So by the time you watch this, it'll probably be Monday for you as well. Or not Monday. I'm sorry, not Monday. Saturday. It'll be Saturday. It's because today was Friday. Now it's Saturday. So by Saturday, sorry about that. By Saturday, you'll be watching this. Sorry about that. I'm getting confused. The days are just rolling in. Oh boy. So we have the normal chart. Finally, just make a diagonal here. But let's have a look here on the logarithmic chart. It is flattening. It is going over the 1 million mark. So let's look at the total cases. Geez, 1,103,461 cases. 34,037 new cases today, which is a lot. Let's see the total number of deaths. You know, by the time this thing is, oh, the death will just keep going. The cases will keep going. This is going to be interesting to see what the true numbers are. Remember, if you want to know what the true number of China is, take whatever number this is, times it by times it by 4 or times it by 3.5, one or the other. That's probably what the numbers are in China, easily. They got like 1.2 billion people. America has about 312 million people. So if you do the ratio on that, it comes out to like 3.4, or maybe you can just round up to 4, I guess. So that's a lot of people in China dead and have confirmed cases, if you want to know the real numbers. So if you look at the bar chart here, it took a little up. It's going up. I don't know if that's because the stay-at-home order has expired. Yesterday, technically, they expired, and people are now going out and then catching the coronavirus. I have no plans of going out. My plan is to stay inside the house. I go out to get breakfast and lunch for the kids. I use the bicycle now, electric bicycle. That's good enough for me. Staying alive and not getting sick, probably really important. And there's some numbers here. Texas is almost at 30,000. Geez, New York has over 300,000. It's slowly burning through the upper north, New England states and Midwest. Down here in the south, going through Florida. California is getting hit. Washington's doing quite well, actually. Colorado, I don't know what it is, but Colorado is just like burning right here. And all the other states are slowly burning around it. You know, we're all going through a slow burn. It's sad, actually. I want to take a look here. 34,000 new cases. Wow. And 1,947 new death today. It's almost averaging 2,000 death for a while. Wow. It's amazing how fast this virus spreads. And you know, there's been some talk whether this virus came from a lab. And it seems like people are really looking into the Wuhan lab in China to see if this is where the virus originated. I mean, people say it came from an animal. Of course, the virus came from an animal. Now, whether this virus came from an animal that was in a Wuhan lab and leaked out, that's a whole nother question. But there's no doubt the virus came from an animal. I mean, I can I can agree with that. Now, but did the virus or did the animal, you know, come from, or did the virus came from an animal? The question is whether the virus came from a lab and that it leaked out of the lab. That's the question. We all know it came from an animal. Anyways, let's take a look here. I updated this earlier today, so it looks like it's pretty much complete. And so there's some comparisons of the top, at least some of the top states. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 states. Compare now, or that technically was yesterday. This was the day before, but you get to see some of the comparison in numbers. Are they going up? Are they about the same? Looks like some of these states in the lower part right here, they've gone up in numbers. All right, quick look at Texas. A lot of testing and below 10%, which is good, but because you're testing more, you're also going to get more cases. And Harris County is on top. I'm in Fort Bend County. Let me see, Harris County is right there, and then Fort Bend County is right there. All right, so this is me. This is where I am. I'm looking at the age scenario. It seems to be about the same. The status. Most people are recovering at home. So how serious is it? I mean, with the sampling I have in my county, seems like you just recover at home for the most part. Gender, mostly female, but what amazes me is the males die more than the females, even though females are more infected than males. That is interesting. And here's the race. If you want to look at the race card, you want to play the race card, here you go. And the death here is, there you go. Even though white, not Hispanic, 21% get infected, they represent the most death. I don't know if anybody wants to play that race card. And there is a total confirmed case. If you look at the history, increasing, of course. Okay, the last thing I'm going to go look at is this website here. It does seem to be trending upwards if you look at everything here. So this is covid.cast.cmu, Carnegie Mellon University edu.edu. And I'm looking at doctor visits, and I'm going to go upload 2 more weeks. So let's see the total trend. Let's see how far I could trend it backwards. Fort Bend. So this is what, February the 9th, and you can see that the hospital visits really spiked up. The peak of it was March 29th was the peak, and that's probably where you got most of, that's when the confirmed cases started coming in. Doctor visits anyway. And so this is before they started doing mass testing, and then you can see it kind of peter down a little bit, but you see it recently it's spiking up. Just really surprised how much it spiked up. Surveys on Facebook, it only goes, let me see, 2 more weeks. It only goes up to, let's see, April 7th. You can see it's been declining. Um, the Facebook surveys are basically surveys done on Facebook's about your exposure to COVID-19 or about COVID-19 in the household, and you can see it's been slowly trending upwards. So it seems like there could be a resurgence. I think as people were mandated to stay at home, I think people are getting fatigued and starting to gather socially in some way or shape or form. And I think that's starting to reflect in these doctor visits and surveys and also in the numbers. So I'm a little concerned about how the lockdown or the stay at home orders have expired for the most part, and America's reopening up. I think there's potential danger there, but at the same time I understand there could be more danger or even severe harm by continuing lockdown because people, I mean, I saw there was probably over 100 cars. Now I know that's maybe not a lot, but the fact that there were that many cars to go to the food bank was surprising because at that same high school, they're offering breakfast and lunch to any child. Okay, they don't even have to go to school in Fort Bend County. If you have a child in your household, they're eligible to get a breakfast and food at one of the sites at Fort Bend ISD school sites, and they have them all over the place. I just go to the local high school, and what I find strange is um, I don't see many people go to these like high schools or middle schools or elementary schools in Fort Bend ISD picking up food for their children. I mean, there are some, but compared to the food line, the food bank line, I mean, there were a lot, a lot. And so, I don't know. It's hard to wrap my mind around it because every day I'm going to pick up food for the kids, breakfast and lunch, which helps me with my grocery supply. So I don't have to dip into my grocery supply. But when I saw the food bank line, a lot of people. So I think there's something's not right there. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something not correlating. You would think that the food banks and then the lunch, breakfast and lunch meals for your children would kind of correlate. They'd be about the same, but they're not. Food line is for anyone, but a lot of people have children too. Um, Anyways, I just thought that was kind of weird. The food line was a lot bigger than the breakfast and lunch program. But I do think there is a risk of emergence of a second wave coming up. I do think there's a risk for emergence. So it hit the peak and then it's come down. Now it's spiking back up. You can see the doctor visits when I keep going back in time, the maximum time, which would be February the 2nd. It's very low here, and then all of a sudden, as the first confirmed cases started coming in, you could see a lot of people started going to the doctor visits, and then they had mass testings, which probably explains why this is going down. People aren't going to the doctor per se, or they're calling their doctors, but probably more getting test sites. And also, this is probably when the stay-at-home order started to take effect. And now that it's ending, let me see, January, March 29th, all the way into April. Now that it's ending, you can see that it's starting to pick up here in the last week, which is interesting. Anyways, I'm going to conclude this episode here. I don't have much to say. I really don't have much to say. Let me back out of here so you can see this map here. Um, So I do think as time goes on, the economic situation is going to get very tough. It's going to get harder. It's going to get worse. I put it that way. 30 million people have filed for unemployment. And these are people who had jobs, I'm assuming, and now don't have jobs. Even if America reopened, it's not going to, like, technically there is pent up demand, but at the same time, that pent up demand um, cannot be met by the reopening. Okay, because it's not like we're open and everyone's gonna go back to normal. It's not. It's gonna be a very slow trickle back to normal. It's gonna be a very slow trickle to reopening, and so the demand and the supply is just not there. Um, if, Even then, the whole world is going through some form of the same lockdown and pandemic in a layered time frame and a layered fashion as well. So, um, you know, not only the local business, but you got to think of international because the world is interconnected. And so, even if things did open up, people are not going to be buying and people are not going to be going out. I'm not in a hurry, and I have no plans of going to the movies, eating out. I'll be cooking in. And I don't mind picking up the food for the kids because I disinfect it. But I'm not going to do any more than that. I'm not going to go to like Chick-fil-A or Burger King or McDonald's to get my food. I just don't want to be out more than I have to. And the food I do bring in, I disinfect. Mostly, I want to just eat um, food that I make. Mostly. And even if the food I bring in, I disinfect with the steamer and bleach. So. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. I do think in the future there will be conflict. I repeat, in the future there will be conflict, and so watch out for that as well. Until next time, everyone. I'll talk to you all later. I think I'll do another one Saturday night so you can watch it for Sunday and have a weekend edition of my COVID-19 videos. Until next time, bye.